Welcome to American Scenery, Different Views in Hudson River School Painting, a beautiful and impressive exhibition of 116 paintings by 72 artists on view at the Reading Public Museum through June 5, 2011. The exhibition was organized by the Westmoreland Museum of American Art in Greensburg, Pennsylvania, and curated by their director, Judith Hanson O'Toole. This comprehensive gathering features outstanding works by key figures in the movement, including Thomas Cole, Frederick Edwin Church, Jasper Francis Cropsey, Asher B. Durand, John Frederick Kensett, William Sontag, John William Casselaire, Benjamin Champney, William Trost Richards, and Alfred Bricker, as well as women members Laura Woodward and Edith Wilkinson Cook, and other accomplished but lesser-known artists. Drawn from a single private collection, the exhibition reflects the collector's passionate observations about each artist's diverse approach and skillful rendering of natural effects as light, weather, time of day, and season, which was the driving force to assemble this special collection. Considered by many to be the first truly American school of painting, the Hudson River School flourished in the northeastern part of the United States between around 1825 and 1875 and celebrated the vast natural resources of the American landscape just prior to the industrialization that forever changed that landscape. Founded by Thomas Cole, who emigrated from England to a fresh new United States in 1818, the movement began to decline during the last decades of the 19th century, when artists and their patrons became enamored of different aesthetic ideas and styles imported from Europe, including Impressionism. Artists in America had witnessed, in these same 5 decades, the tumultuous results of growing pains within their young nation. Among these were tremendous addition of territory through expansion, the near dissolution of the country during the Civil War, and the subsequent revitalization, which positioned the country to become a leading world power in the next century. Some of the works by Hudson River School painters featured in this exhibition include actual pairs of paintings intended as such by the artist, demonstrating the popularity of this method of working among the group. Also explored are comparisons of individual works not conceived as a part of a pair by the artist, as well as groupings by multiple artists brought together in this exhibition to illustrate 2 principles. 1, that the artist painted landscapes under different conditions in order to reveal communal, recurrent themes within the school, and 2, that the language of landscape kept 3 generations of painters eagerly returning to the same subjects. The exhibition investigates the practice of how Hudson River School artists created pairs, series, and groupings of landscape paintings that are thematically related and intended to be viewed together. You're encouraged to compare and contrast how different generations of artists interpreted the majestic American landscape. The underlying purpose of grouping paintings this way is to enable contemporary viewers to appreciate more readily the 19th century artist's ideas and objectives through active engagement in the comparison and contrast visible in these pairings. It seems likely that Thomas Cole, one of the founding fathers of the Hudson River School, saw and studied paired paintings by Thomas Doughty, one of the earliest painters dedicated to landscape painting, between 1818 and 1825, when Cole visited the annual exhibitions at the Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts as a young man at the beginning of his artistic career. In time, Cole, Jasper Francis Cropsey, Sanford Robinson Gifford, Asher B. Durand, Frederick Edwin Church, Albert Bierstadt, John Frederick Kensett, and John William Casselaire were among those who produced paintings intended as pairs. Later Hudson River artists, including William Mason Brown, Clinton Loveridge, Alvin Fisher, Homer Dodge Martin, D.C. Gross, Joseph Antonio Hecking, William Sontag, William and James Hart, Benjamin Champney, and Alfred Bricker, continued to work in this manner. Many other artists of the school painted discrete pairs, that is, related paintings intended to be placed and seen together. Themes treated as pairs by these artists include times of day, seasons, different weather conditions and atmosphere, contrasting types of terrain, and various stages of man's intrusion on the wilderness. The groupings assembled in this exhibition draw central focus and rationale from the fact that Hudson River artists, despite individual differences in style, shared certain aesthetic and philosophical principles, uniting them as a school. Primary among those was a belief in natural religion, a deep admiration for the magnificence of the land, and a keen interest in the direct observation of nature. Most importantly was an awareness of the fresh, untamed American scenery as reflective of the optimism and independence of our character as a young nation, as opposed to the civilized European landscape. By virtue of the fact that 3 generations of Hudson River School artists persisted in painting landscapes, often in the same geographical location and observing the same landmarks, Lake George, Niagara Falls, or Mount Washington, for example, they were constantly engaged in making comparisons and contrasts. The style was not geographically confined to the Hudson River region, however, and Thomas Cole's Sunset at the Arno, 1837, paired with Frederick Church's Ruins at Baalbek, 1868, were selected to compare approaches to the landscape outside of the region. These artists had seemingly an unlimited appetite for direct examination of the landscape around them, fed by both the beauty and spirituality of nature, and the desire to capture it on canvas in all its myriad effects. They were inspired by an awareness that in nature, things change continually, and that therefore nothing is ever stationary. Observing their subjects under nearly endless variables related to time of day, season, weather conditions, and lighting, they work to capture on individual canvases the visual effects of these continual changes. Influenced by the ever-changing landscape around them, artists and works in the exhibition are organized according to 9 themes, of which times of day, weather conditions, atmosphere, and mood, man's impact on nature, the machine and the garden are included. The purpose of the exhibition is to revive the public's ability to appreciate 19th century American landscape painting and to provide insight into the iconographical base that gives it greater meaning in order to more fully comprehend its achievement. It's hoped that this will also bring about a deeper understanding of the profound reaction our forefathers experienced when encountering the extraordinary natural bounty of America and how closely it was attuned to the buoyant hopes they held for their lives in this new nation.